Doma Sports Talk Worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, I'm gonna address something real quick, which I shouldn't even address. I don't normally address people in the comments because a lot of times, people argue with your thumbnail. Don't even look at the video and then say something. Like last thing I heard was somebody was saying you're protecting Terrence Crawford because of I'm saying Virgil Ortiz doesn't deserve to fight yet. And if you look at maybe 45 seconds of the video, you will realize that it's all about Sergey Bohacek. That's what it's about. It's about we're not going to move on from Sergey Bohacek, who really won the damn fight. You understand? That's what it's all about. It's about the fighters that we forget, like a Sergey Bohacek, like a Jermaine Ortiz, like a Sandor Martin. These guys have done great things, and we ignore them and move on with the people that are popular, right? And that's what this is all about. So, no, that's why you don't really address people. Now, speaking of addressing stuff, let's address the face of boxing, which don't deserve the title. Face of boxing, Canelo Alvarez. And the 5 undisputed champions that we are being deprived of. The deprived 5, right? Y'all want to go through them? Well, if it wasn't for Canelo Alvarez, who is undisputed at the 168-pound division with an asterisk, in my opinion, because, hey, the WBC title, he didn't have to fight for. You guys do know that, right? Excuse me. He didn't have to fight for the undisputed, for the WBC title. Isn't it funny that it's the WBC always? When he got to 168, the lineal champ was your boy, David Benavidez, who was stripped because of being a little bit heavy during the COVID time, when COVID just came out and then nobody could train. So, Canelo never had to fight for the title. And he never had to, beat the lineal guy. He was given that title. He had fought Callum Smith for the WBA. And they just put the WBC belt on the line, even though he's fighting for the WBA against a Callum Smith. Not somebody who we thought was probably the very best super middleweight at the time or something. Just would fight Callum Smith, and now you have the WBA and the WBC for no damn reason at all. Let's make sure that's clear. So there's an asterisk there. But Canelo Alvarez has a 168-pound title. Now, here's some people who would be superstars if they would just give the damn opportunity, and they should have got the opportunity. We'll start with Demetrius Andrade first. Demetrius Andrade's at DAZN, signed where Canelo is signed, and Canelo wanted to be undisputed at the middleweight division, the really glamour division. He had the 3 belts, messing around with Gennady Golovkin, that was controversial, but okay, he had the belts. And he had one fight with Demetrius Andrade, who was at the zone, signed, begging to fight undisputed against Canelo. And he just doesn't do it, ignores him, waits to November to fight a Sergey Kovalev, who was just coming off of barely beating Anthony Yarde and needed more time to recover. But they would rather do that, hide behind the fact that he's moving up in weight to fight Sergey Kovalev instead of becoming that what he said he wanted to be. Is undisputed at the middleweight division, and he doesn't do it because on the other side of that undisputed is Demetrius Andrade. So Demetrius Andrade, who would have beat Canelo and been undisputed, didn't get the opportunity. So his career took a different turn. He couldn't, get the undisputed fight against Canelo, which he would have been undisputed. That's one deprived. Right? So, let's go up to super middleweight. David Benavidez. That's the one everybody talking about, right? David Benavidez, 3 years. Supposed to be the mandatory and was the mandatory for Canelo and lineal, which we didn't really talk about unless we was talking about Tyson Fury being lineal, and that then made Deontay Wilder get Tyson Fury off of the couch because he was lineal. It meant something. But with David Benavidez, it just don't mean nothing, even though he was the real champion for the WBC and the mandatory. And the sanctioning body, WBC, hasn't been, they should be stripped of their title of being a sanctioning body. because you have a rule, a law that you're just not abiding for because of one fighter. Just one fighter is making you guys say, forget the rules. Reminds me of American politics. We forget the rules. We forget the fact that crime, right, applies to everybody. The rule of law applies to everybody. No, we like him. It doesn't apply to him. That's just not how you should run a country. That's just not how you should run a sanctioned body, right? So that's what's going on. He has been the mandatory for Canelo for 3 years and just won't get a shot. He could have been undisputed. There's another one. Now, in the same weight division, right? The regular champion, the WBA regular champion. The WBA been talking for 2 years about they want to consolidate their belts. We're going to consolidate our belts. We know these regular champions, we shouldn't have came up with that in the first place because you have a real champion and then you have a regular one, confusing people. Yeah, we were trying to get sanctioned bodies. It was a dumb idea. It wasn't as dumb as the franchise title by the WBC, but it was a dumb idea to have all these champions running around here, and the regular champions wasn't even good as the 4th or 5th place guy on the normal list. If you think I'm lying, what about Manuel Char? He's the regular champion in the heavyweight division right now. Has anybody got Manuel Char in their top 10 of the heavyweights? So no disrespect to Manuel Char because the dude does have heart, got 2 hip replacements and been shot. So he going to get some love, but he's not one of the top 10 heavyweights, right? So we're consolidating our belts so we can have one champion. But just not where Canelo is. Because the guy that Canelo would have to fight would be David Morrell, one of the best fighters on the planet as we speak. And everyone knows it, right? But because he's in Canelo's division, he ain't getting a shot at becoming undisputed. Because let me tell you something, David Morrell is so good that we know he'll beat Canelo, and we think, and we really think it, tell the truth, that he even beat David Benavidez. And anybody at 168 that you think could beat David Benavidez, we don't have to talk about his talent level, now do we? So he's deprived of becoming undisputed before he goes to light heavyweight. Oh, by the way, David Benavidez and David Morrell, because Canelo just won't fight him and the sanctioned bodies won't force him, they have to go up to the next division without getting a shot at the belts at the division they were in. Do you guys really think that's fair? Are you following me? Anybody that's still thinking that's fair, you probably need to just take a right turn and you probably land in hell. But anyway, let's keep it moving. Dmitry Bivol, remember going up to 175 to beat Sergey Kovalev, right? And you was thinking, well, let me go up to 175 pounds and mess around up there. But I ain't going to mess with Artur Beterbiev because that dude, he's going to walk me down. So I ain't trying to get walked down, right? This is Canelo. Let me fight Dmitry Bivol. He's a little bit easier, and he's a small light heavyweight. Let me fight Dmitry Bivol and then get him. I could probably get him. Yeah. Gets dominated by Dmitry Bivol at 175 pounds. 175 pounds might be a little bit too heavy for me. You know, I'm going to go on back down to my weight and whatever. What did Doma tell you guys, right? Doma Damas told you back then. Sergey, your boy, Dmitry Bivol, is going to ask him to fight at 168 pounds. And Canelo's going to say, hell no to that. Told you right after the first fight. Because Dmitry Bivol is a small light heavyweight. Or was. He's probably, it's a few years now. So he might be a little bit bigger. But he wanted to come down. Ask Canelo, come down. Let me come down in your weight and fight for your belts. Because you know something? I don't want you to have the excuse of this could be heavy. And I told you Canelo was going to say, hell no, I ain't going to put my belts on the line against somebody that I know is going to beat my butt again. So there you have it. Dmitry Bivol, also deprived of becoming 2-division undisputed because he would have went down and beat Canelo at 168, been undisputed there, right? And then we probably would have had a Morrell or David Benavidez fight for undisputed. But then going up, and he's going to fight Artur Beterbiev for undisputed, which could be, Dmitry Bivol could be 2-division undisputed, right? So we're depriving him of his greatness. That we, just all of this is because of one guy. Now, that's 4 people, ain't it? Let's fast forward to the guy we're talking about now, the baddest one on the planet right now, without a doubt, and that's Terrence Bud Crawford. Now, Terrence Crawford could go up to 168 and fight Canelo, go up 3 divisions and fight Canelo. People don't want him to do it because they know damn well that he has a shot at beating Canelo, even though Canelo's huge, right? So all the excuses in the world why that can't happen. Now the best excuse in the world is Canelo's not undisputed, which deems the fight not that important. So I don't really care if Terrence Crawford fights Canelo now because he ain't undisputed in the first place. But it was something that could have happened, or should have happened, and given Terrence Crawford the opportunity to become the GOAT. So that's why I left him for last, because Terrence Crawford beats Canelo convincingly at 168 pounds. He's the GOAT, and he can just roll out and just go into the pastures and eat grass because he's the GOAT, right? But at the end of the day, those are 5 guys that we're going to call the Deprived 5 who didn't get their shot to become undisputed because of one guy who's not undisputed his damn self. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.